Welcome to Grace on Fire. Grace Speaks, Spontaneous Talks. I'm here out in Redmond Campground with the most astounding beings I could ever imagine. And we just interviewed Ali Benjamin. And what an honor and a privilege that was to interview such a powerful leader. And it's such an embodiment and expression of grace and love and light and awakened presence on this planet. Just so honored to have beings like her alive and working in divine order here on this planet. And she ended with a poem, Grounded in Grace. And I think my talk is just going to be a touch on a little of that. And I loved so much about it. I love the part where she said we're just letting go of our stories. Our stories. And I'm going to tell you an experience real quick. It was just a couple weeks ago. I remembered that I had boxes of journals and I had to go through them. I had to get rid of them. It was out of state. And I had noticed I was on the top of the diary, I would criticize myself. I called myself names, not kind names. And I thought about this just 2 weeks ago. And what I had said in that diary was the exact same thing that somebody in my past told me, said to me, criticized me. And what hit home for me was that that self-criticism on my diaries was completely innocent. I was just repeating what I had been told as a little girl over and over as years. And I got to see the innocence of that. But I also got to see I do not have to keep doing that. I don't have to keep those stories, those old stories. The programming that I have, we're all programmed. We're programmed. There's a mass consciousness programming us. There's our families programming us. There's society programming us. There's our friends programming us. And some of this programming is good. And some of this programming is disempowering and limited. And I think we've all had a combination of both throughout our lives. And some have had worse than others. And we all have our stories. But we can surpass that. We can overcome that. We can let that go. That Ali's poem about letting go of the control and letting go of those old stories. Those stories that limited us. That made us feel bad about ourselves. That made us feel sad and down and not good enough. Clearly, I was not feeling good enough, inadequate. And those were stories I was telling myself from a voice in the past that was not even my voice. I had taken on a voice from someone in my past, and I was living it inside my own head. And it was innocent. But I didn't need to continue doing that, and I don't need to continue that, and none of us need to continue doing that. We can take a stand, just like her poem said, and let that go and create a new story. I love that part of the poem. We create our new story today. What do we want to create today? What do our new stories want to create? When we let go of all those disempowering stories that, and those people who told us those things, they're innocent too. They were doing the best they can, or they were hurting inside. In my case, it was people hurting inside and not knowing where to vent that, and I just became that person to vent. And there was voices, of course, from people that were trying their best, but didn't really know how to empower me. So maybe criticism was the way they thought I could be better, but their intention was well. But we're learning a new way to empower ourselves. We're learning a new way. The entire planet is learning a new way of being. Parents are changing. Society is changing. And we're knowing that criticism does not work. Punishment does not. Blame, fault does not work. That does not work. With past, that actually was a model that people thought worked. If we shame them, if we let them know they're bad and they've done something wrong, that we believed worked, but it doesn't work anymore. And we're doing it to ourselves if we were taught that, and we can let it go and find a new way to empower ourselves. So the voices in our head, we can just claim, I am not going to listen to those voices. I am only going to listen to the unconditionally all-loving voice within me. The wide open, unstoppable, infinitely compassionate voice within me. That is the voice I will listen to. And that is the voice that will motivate me and inspire me and move me into the future as I create today the life I want to create. And we got smoke going on because we're at the camp out. We're having a great time. I hope you can come next year if you're watching this, or tonight. We are surrounded by angels and masters and enlightened beings here, joyful spirits, and we're just celebrating life in a simple, spontaneous celebration here up at Redmond Campground. I love you. I love you all. I love you all, and thank you for coming. And may you have a beautiful and blessed day. Namaste. Thank you.